All right, welcome to the Star Goddess podcast for August 12th, 2019. Good morning, AJ.
Good morning.
Janet.
Good morning.
It's it's my birthday.
It is your birthday.
So I guess this is for August 12th, 2019.
It is for the week.
50 years ago that I guess this Leo was born.
It's a beautiful thing.
Crazy.
It is. I love Leos. I love Leos.
So what's going on for the week?
Actually, this is a great week, not just to be a Leo. It's a great week for everybody because Jupiter, the money faucet, turns back on today.
Love the money faucet.
Hasn't it? It has been off since the middle of April, and literally people are like, are you swearing? Is it really over? It turns back on, and it's almost, it really, literally, stuff that you haven't been able to make happen financially.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like, all the lights are green and you can go ahead and do it, and there's no real good reason except Jupiter now close to the Earth, and the money faucet is back on, so that's great news. That's the first piece of good news.
Are these obvious things? Like, do you see these, or sometimes you got to look for them a little bit,
Oh, no. When the money faucet turns back on, you know. All of a sudden, you've got money at the end of your month instead of month at the end of your money.
All right.
It's the kind of thing where, and it's literally, people have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and now finally it happens. And it's just, it's like, and I don't understand how this teeny weeny little point of light, thousands and thousands of miles away, can impact us, but it does. So it's a good thing. That's the first thing that we have this week is Jupiter's going forward for the first time in 4 months. And then Mercury, the planet of communication, goes back into the sign of Leo. So both of those things are they're very beneficial for all of the signs. There's no bad news in your chart when those two planets are direct and forward in their motion. So, and then we culminate this week on Thursday with the full moon in Leo. So it's pretty much about Leo energy and where it is in your chart and where you can expect good things to start happening, which I think is about time. We certainly all do need it. So for Leos, this is a great time for Leo. The money faucet turns on so they could take something that was a creative child of their mind and turn it into a money-making venture.
Okay.
Kind of a deal. It's good financially for Leos. It's good personally for Leos where they feel that they're very effective in their communications. They get to work with younger people and it works out very, very well for them. And they have some idea that's kind of been nattering around in their head for almost a year and a half to 2 years that now all of a sudden the lights are all green and they can begin to put that into motion. And I keep thinking about you starting a band.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. And
exactly where I would go with that.
And I were talking about podcasting, all these really good ideas.
More creative stuff, creative,
just
fun stuff, not necessarily hard work and drudgery, but this is more something that can be fun and creative, and you can turn it from an avocation into a vocation.
And if you're a blue collar worker, it might be an idea for a new business that you have.
Yeah, or an extension of the business that you're doing, but it's something that takes your own creativity and you want to put your own mark on it, kind of a deal. So even today, in the show, we had guys creating new beer, coming in, that type of a thing. So it's a very cool time for Leos. It's not such a cool time for Virgos. For Virgos, it's a good time just to kind of take a step back and regroup. It's a good time. And it's only for a week. It's not like you have to, go hide in the sand for a year or so. It's only for a week or so. And so my advice to Virgos is finish up stuff you've already started rather than try and put new stuff into motion because the new stuff won't have any energy and you need to sort of finish up stuff you've already started. And at home for Virgos more so than any place else. For Libras, this energy is in the 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And Libras don't like to go it alone. Libra is the most partnership-oriented sign of the zodiac. And what they want to do is they want to be able to find a way to get their group, their associates of their group or their friends, to help the Libra get what the Libra wants. And Libras are very, very charming. These guys run from September 22nd or so to October 22nd. And so they will act like they are doing you a favor and they are going to help you out. But the truth is the person who really benefits is the Libra. Okay. Which, you got to like that, because dimples and charm, I'd fall for it too.
But it's all positive, right?
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing negative in this energy, which is kind of nice. I haven't been able to say that for a while, so it's kind of good to be able to say that. Technically, the group does benefit along with the Libra. It's not just about the Libra, but it's about the Libra.
The Libra's thinking about the Libra.
They do. For Scorpios, this energy is in their 10th house of career and public standing, and there are professional things going on. The Scorpio has been trying, they reinvented themselves last year, and now they're trying to figure out how can that new me make more money, because that's really their big objective. And there's something going on professionally that they need to stay out of unless they're expressly invited to attend the fight. Like, if you don't get a subpoena, don't go to the courthouse, that kind of a thing. Don't volunteer for that type of thing, because there's something going on professionally. It will end up with the Scorpio being in a better position, but they can't influence it right now, so their very best bet is just to kind of sit back and wait and see what shakes out, and then whoever the winner is, go with them, is my best advice there, because no good can come from you taking a bullet for someone else. There's just no reason to do that.
I always like to, like, when you talk about these different signs and the months and everything, I always have a visual in my head of who these people are in our lives.
Yeah.
That are walking around, your Libras and your,
Yeah.
in our case in the studio, everybody gets to identify with AJ as the Taurus. I'm
Right.
the Leo.
Yeah.
It's like-
Virgos. Yeah.
Virgos,
And I do that too when
Scorpios,
yeah, as I'm saying it, I'm thinking, ooh, that'll be good for me. And you know, in what way? Because I don't really.
Look at you, Libra.
Yeah,
Got some
exactly.
Libra in you.
Yeah. It's like, where's that gonna be?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And it's funny because I don't ever look at it for me.
Yeah.
Until I'm in the process of saying it, and every now and then, especially if something bad's gonna happen, I'll be like, oh no, I hadn't even thought about that. And it's kind of written all over my face. So for Scorpios, stay out of the line of fire. Sagittarius, this is the best time to be a Sagittarius, and this is important to you because your rising sign is Sagittarius. So your ruling planet is Jupiter. It has just gone direct and forward. So personally, in the personality that you project out into the world, there are a whole bunch of new starts for you there. So it's almost as though if you're going to take on another persona, and again, I have to go back to start a band.
Yeah.
You know, because that's an extension of you. It's not really who you are, but it's an extension of who you are.
Now, question: when you say you're rising, what does
Yes.
that
The
mean?
ascendant is actually the planets tell you what energy is available. The sign of the zodiac tells you the quality of the energy, but where in your life in particular is going to manifest is based on your rising sign, and that's the zodiac sign that's rising over the eastern horizon when you take your first breath. That's why the astrologer will say, what time of day were you born?
Okay.
And people will come up to me and go, guess my zodiac sign. It's like, oh no, I got a 1 in 12 chance of getting it right. What I can usually guess is your rising sign, because like Libras will have dimples and charm, Leos will have a full head of hair, Tauruses they'll be beautiful because they're ruled by the planet Venus. You know, you can tell a little bit. Geminis look younger than their age. There are a lot of visual cues that go with that, but that has a lot more to do with the rising sign than the sun sign. So,
Interesting.
and that when you're looking at any kind of predictive astrology, you want to look at, in your case, Crash, you would look at Leo first, but then you would look at Sagittarius to see where that energy was going to manifest in your life. So for you, it's about new starts all the way across the board. So, and I know that
That's
Leo's...
knowledge right there. So
Right.
I can equate that now to everyday life right there. Yep.
Right. So it's very positive for Sagittarians. And when their ruling planet has gone direct, everything they touch turns to gold. It's kind of a really nice time for them. So I'm thinking new endorsements, new opportunities, new things that are an extension of your personality. So it's a great time, finally. It's never a bad time to be a Sagittarian, but it's a great time.
If you're have a lawn service, that would be some new clients or new things
Yeah.
that would make you more money or
Exactly. Better
increase your
opportunities,
network.
one-on-one relationships, increase your contacts in the world, which increase the things that come to you. And then in particular, where this full moon is in the 9th house of long-distance travel, and you're taking the Crash birthday show on the road this week. And you're going not just to here to Ocala, you're going
Yeah, I'm
pretty
going
much all over the
Orlando,
state. Yeah.
Jacksonville, yeah, it's a week long, it's a ticket we do all this,
And that's very appropriate for this energy.
Cool.
For Capricorns, this energy is in Jupiter's gone direct in their 12th house, so it is not as obvious to the Capricorns what these benefits are going to be, and they have to realize that the things they put together now will pay off for them in December and January when Jupiter then enters their sign. So for Capricorns everywhere, it's about the money, but it's about the money that they share with other people. This is not their own earning ability.
Yeah.
They want to find a way to maximize other people's resources to work for the Capricorn. So it's sort of like you might not get the raise, but your partner might. You know, that kind of a thing, where people that you're in some sort of a partnership with, you will benefit from other people's resources.
Now, did that lag over from last week? Hasn't there been like an ongoing vibe with that? With the
It was, but the
Capricorns?
problem with that was last week was Mercury was still retrograde in there,
Ah.
so they weren't going to go forward with it. But now that it's all forward and direct, they will benefit from other people's resources and other people's money. Good time to ask a bank for a loan.
Okay.
Good time to ask anybody pretty much for a loan.
So if you know that this is that sign is trying to benefit off other people's money,
Right.
you should just use as a good thing. You can go with it, right?
Yeah, you can go with it. Exactly. That's a very cool thing. For Aquarians, this energy is in their 7th house of partners and intimate one-to-one relationships. And Aquarians, they're very, very hard to predict because they don't know what they're going to do until about 3 or 4 seconds before they do it. But what they are going to hear is that Their love relationships smooth out, their partnerships smooth out, and they may be in the spotlight for one reason or another, sort of like God's going to go, time for you to take action kind of a deal. And it's a put your money where your mouth is kind of sign. It's the thing where Aquarians go, if I was in charge, I'd do this, this, and this, and the universe is going to go, okay, show us what you got. So it's a time to
make big time plays.
yeah,
It's time to
and
go,
if you're going
right?
to do it, go big or go home is my motto with that. And also, Aquarians, there are young people that are trying to tell you something, and you really need to listen to them. You really need to hear what they have to say, because there's important words that will come from youth for Aquarian. And it doesn't matter how old an Aquarian you are. You could be a 60-year-old Aquarian, you could be a 30-year-old Aquarian, but still you're going to benefit from listening to what younger people have to say. For Pisces, this energy is in their 6th house of work, health, and responsibility. So there's a new responsibility headed for Pisces. I think that their work environment goes very, very well. And then with Jupiter being in their 10th house of career and public standing, they do well professionally. So you're thinking, well, how can I relate this to my kid going to school? And it's like, well, your kid's going to go to school and really like the teacher, like the classroom, and then be able to take a starring role in that, to be able to be, I don't want to say a teacher's pet kind of deal, but to be able to be actively involved in it and feel good about being involved in it.
Like a leader in the
Fantastic.
classroom.
Yeah. So it's a very cool thing.
I love that.
For them,
That's
it is. Because I know that they had some fears and trepidations about it. And they don't have to worry about that because it's going to work out very well for them. And the group that they're with is going to be glad to see them, which is a nice thing, too. For Aries, they want to have as much fun as they possibly can. Here, there, everywhere. They want to fall in love. They want to, even though, people have gone back to school, Aries are still vacationing. They are still partying, and they're traveling quite a long distance to get there and do it. So they need to kind of dial it back down, because this is like the last week of that stuff. And after that, it's kind of back to work for them. So I say to Aries everywhere, enjoy it while you can.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not going to last forever. For Tauruses, and you're going, what about me? For Tauruses, number one, the money faucet is turned on in your 8th house of other people's money flowing your way.
Okay.
So finances are very, very good for you.
Okay.
You'll find, and also where Mercury has gone direct and where this full moon is in your 4th house of home and foundations. And Tauruses everywhere have been plagued all summer long with uncertainty about what's going on at home.
Have I ever?
Oh, yeah, and
So
there
many
hasn't been an answer
situations
to
with
it.
House. Yes.
There really hasn't been an answer
There's
to
been
it. It's sort of
nothing.
like,
There's just been drama
I'm
and
not
just
sure
like-
what to do.
Yeah.
There's been upheaval, yes, no, stay, go, I don't know, and things have changed back and forth.
Ah,
And so now all of that is done.
Is
And
it?
and yes, all of that is done. And you're going to be able over the next 3 weeks or so to be able to find out what you're going to do at home. Whether you're going to stay, whether you're going to go, and make it a more solid thing. But if you do decide to go, there's plenty of money to do it with, which is good news for you.
no, that's awesome.
So that would be an important thing to know, that banks are on your side, that they're more than willing to help you out with that. But the big thing is you will have the answer yourself
Yeah.
to do I stay or do I go. And once that decision is made, all the rest will fall into play.
Okay.
It's the not knowing until then. But honestly, you didn't have enough information yet
No,
to make
I
that
st-
decision.
I
And
still
that's
feel like
the
I don't. I still
yeah.
have info, and I'm like, yeah.
Today, it
It's
starts
just
today.
a live, by the way, if you guys are just
Oh,
So
sorry.
many things happening right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So it's that's the analogy when it comes to in studio, because you've been really kind of struggling with where am I going to be?
Yeah, where am I gonna go? Yeah, what am I gonna do?
And this has been an ongoing process. It seems like for an eternity now.
Yeah,
like for the
well, 2-3
last couple of
months, yeah.
And it's just it's
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
So, but now at least one way or the other, you'll know what you're going to do. And that alone, just having the knowledge that at least I know.
Yeah.
Because then I know how to think about something. Because we have so little control over what is.
Mm-hmm.
All we really can control is how we choose to think about something.
Yeah.
And that when you don't know what to think, the universe then can't manifest something for you because it goes, I don't know either. You know, when you make a decision, then you'll be able to manifest it. So for you, that's wonderful news about peace at home, because if your home's not right, I don't care what's right in the rest of the world. It's not right. And if your home is right, the rest of the world can do whatever it wants.
I couldn't agree more with you. Home
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah,
to
no,
me.
genuinely. That's the
Yeah.
number one thing for Tauruses. For Geminis, the pace of their living picks up to warp speed. And they find that they're no longer backtracking. They've spent the last 2 months just taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back and trying to get something going, and then it falls through. And even Ryan saw it with Where Am I Going to Live?
Yeah.
You know, so all of that is done. All of that starting and stopping in fits and starts is
Sputtering
over.
car, you feel like it's kind of like
Yeah, like your car is jerking kind of a thing. It finally burps out whatever it is and it gets to go
fires
straight.
in all cylinders. then.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And they have some short distance, short duration travel that will teach them something very important that they need to know. I don't know whether it's some sort of class or some sort of upgrade, but it's some sort of educational opportunity that they need to take advantage of to be able to do not where they do their job, but the way they do their job better. It's like additional education. Is good for them. And then for Cancers, the last sign, it's about making more money. It is straight up, how do I improve my job? How do I improve the amount of money that I make? And this is all stuff that is within the Cancer's control to change. That this is not where they have to wait for somebody else to do something. This is where the Cancer can self-direct to make more money, to expand the job that they do. And that comes about by some obstacle that had been in their way the last 4 months. With Jupiter being retrograde in their 6th house of work, that goes by the wayside and it changes. And whatever that change is, enables the Cancer to either have a better career path, the obstacle gets out of their way, and the end of that is more money. So you have to like that. And I'm really happy to say that, you know, with Mercury being direct and Jupiter being direct, things get to be right in the world, and reality is reality, and we can count on things. And I think that it's about time for that. So we can use that, all of us could use that kind of a break, and the kids are back in school, so nothing wrong there.
Yay.
Gotta like that.
Opportunities. So. It's not too good to be true.
Yeah, no, it's a real deal. You can actually feel like, I feel like, you know, like Linda going, it's okay, you can come out,
Yeah,
it's safe. So the Money Faucet turning back on is the biggest thing. That really is. So
All right, there we
tomorrow's news today.
August 12th, 2019 edition of Star Goddess will be back next Monday right here on the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com.
Always a pleasure.